We'd just touch on the amendment to the campervan parking rules that's out and about at the minute. As everybody knows or wants to come to Greece, they started to enforce this law that was amended in January, but it was always there. So can we just reiterate, setting up camp in anywhere in Greece, which means taking anything out of your vehicle and putting it on the floor, even chocks. The straightening things, the level of things for motorhomes.
Oh yeah, the posh ones have.
Yeah. Tables, chairs, awnings out was always illegal. Always. It was never allowed, but...
It was never really enforced.
Yes. So, in January, they decided that they was going to start enforcing, and then everything blew up on social media because these 5 campervans in Greece got fined. Now, we're under the understanding that one of them didn't argue or left, didn't get fined. The rest stayed and argued, got fined, and we've heard it on the grapevine, and it's not 100% that they did have stuff outside, and there was parked on a beach area.
And they did argue with the police as well.
Apparently so, yeah, that's on the grapevine. So there was arguing the point, saying, well, you know, we've always done this, and the police were saying, yeah, but you're not allowed. And one of the things that they've amended in January was beaches, forests, and archaeological sites are a no-no for overnighting. You can park up at archaeological sites, and there's no restrictions for campervan and motorhomes. Then you are allowed to stay there to go and see. You're not allowed to overnight. Beaches, you're not allowed to park on sand, and you're not allowed to stay in forests. But if you, like here, I mean, we're at our campsite's just there. There's a road and there's a beach. If we parked here, because we're under 7.5 metres and
3.5 tons.
3.5. No, the weight don't matter. It's 7.5 metres. The weight's nothing apparently. Oh no, yeah, you're right. It did say 3.5.
Always right.
Yeah.
I told you this before.
You're allowed to stay as long as you like. None of this 24-hour stuff. But we won't, because our campsite's there and it's €21 a night.
Parking virtually outside a campsite.
That's taking the... Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, so you can understand if all this was full of campervans and then that campsite was empty, you can understand why they're wanting to enforce this, because that campsite won't survive.
No.
Because it ain't got a swimming pool, people just rely on coming out onto the sea. So people could do that here for free if you don't need, but we wouldn't. That's us personally. It's something we wouldn't do.
Well, if there was no campsite round here, we maybe would park on this road.
Yeah. Well, we did in that... Satha, was it? Satha. PS, yeah, Satha. It had a road, it had a thing, and then it stepped down onto the beach. We was panicking there because we didn't know if we was allowed. But let me just give you a rundown of what's been clarified. The key rules for campervan and motorhomes. 1. Inside residential areas, marked zones. Now, you know when you're in a residential area, because there is, I'll put the graphic up, as to tell you that you're in a residential area. Up to 7.5 metre long, can park without a time limit, as long as it's legal under the KOK. Over 7.5 metres long, maximum 24 hours parking, then you must move or park in a designated area. Outside residential areas, parking is allowed on roads' shoulders, in designated areas, and the same rule applies to all vehicles, not just motorhomes. What is not allowed? Awnings or tents, outdoor tables and chairs, wheel chocks, steps or stabilisers, anything that implies camping rather than just parking. The special zones, as I said, was beaches, forests, archaeological sites, and you park only in legal areas nearby, not inside the restricted zones, which means you can't park on the beaches. The penalties are €300. Possible forced removal or legal action if caught camping illegally. Now, the sleeping in your van was the grey area. You're allowed. If you're not displaying camping behaviour, motorhomes are legally defined as special purpose accommodation vehicle. Now, that also applies to cars. If you're parked somewhere and the police are going to come and fine you for being parked there, they also have to fine the cars. The law was published on the 13th of the 6th, 2025. This was when it was starting to be enforced. And the stopping and parking is now legally enforceable. The new road code itself, the KOK, was published in the Government Gazette on the 13th of the 6th, 2025. So if you want to read it yourself, go back there and have a look. The KOK is the Greek traffic law. And it's defined, the law is the 5209/2025, and it defines the residential areas that are marked by the official sign. So always check.
Like the highway code then?
Yeah, and always check. If you're not sure, if you're heading into an area and you think, well, can I park here? There's a beach there, and I can't see a campsite that's close enough by that I want to stay at, Google it. It'll tell you if you're in a residential area, or chat GPT will tell you if you're in a residential area. If you are, you're allowed. They can't enforce it. They can't stop you. I'm not saying do it all the time. What we're saying is that when it was on social media that you can't even stop and get a coffee, you can stop and get a coffee. You can go to a supermarket. You can do all these things. With us personally now we're getting into the higher temperatures anyway, we would pick a campsite over wild camping, because in a campsite you've got more chance of being in shade. You've got more chance of...
I've been looking for somewhere between here and the next destination, which is about 3 hours away, and I'm struggling to find anywhere with shade, so I know that we would melt. So I'm looking for campsites with shade.
Yeah, and it's got, like I said, if you're paying €27 a night, it's not that bad. It's not like the UK.
England, yeah.
UK paying £40 a night. But it's, and most of them have got, Delphi, what was that, €23? No, that ended up 23 quid, didn't it?
23 quid, yeah.
And we had a swimming pool and everything, a restaurant and everything, and he's got a restaurant and stuff. But the whole, we can understand why they don't want you parking on beaches. We can understand why they don't want you parking in forests, especially if they're starting up barbecues.
Jeez, yeah, and some idiots would.
Yeah, you're in a forest and it's grease and it's dry. Don't be stupid. And if there's a campsite nearby, use it. But what we're trying to say is that if on the odd occasion you're going from one place to another and you can't find anywhere, then as long as you stick within the rules and regulations, they can't fine you. And check where you are. If you're in a residential area, go to the Hellenic Motorhome group. The PDF, that you can download the PDF and you can get chat GPT to translate it, and it does a really good job of translating it, and then it does a really good job of summarising it for you. We're not enforcing wild camping in Greece. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying that still come, but just be mindful of what you're doing. Check the rules and regulations. Use campsites where you can. But if on the odd occasion that you can't find anywhere, or even if you want to stop in a little village and give to the local community by having something in a restaurant or something on the way, don't panic. As long as you're parked within the regulations, you can. I will say though, if you're somewhere where it's hosting, that rule still applies. If you're there and they've said that you can stay overnight and they're hosting you, a restaurant or whatever, and another campervan comes along and they say, yeah, they'll host them as well, then you either ask the other campervan to leave or you leave, because you're risking the €300 fine. They have enforced that. And I believe they can fine the restaurant as well. I'm not 100% certain on that, but the campervans do get enforced and they do get fined. It's up to you to make sure there's only one getting hosted. But apart from that, stay within regulations. Don't be scared to come to Greece, because we're in now, 7 weeks.
Is it 7 weeks already?
Yeah, I think it's 7 weeks, isn't it? Was it 6 weeks?
Probably
or 7
about
weeks?
7 weeks, yeah.
We haven't had any problems so far. The locals have been nothing but lovely.
We've only had one fan.
Oh, yes.
Yes, whilst we was on Skiathos, we were staying in accommodation. We booked an hotel for 6 nights. So there was an abandoned hotel. So I parked the van outside there, put all the screens on, got all our stuff out the van and went to our hotel. We then went to move the van a couple of days later to our friend's land. And as I removed the screens, I noticed a piece of paper on the windscreen. All in Greek,
fuming.
obviously. All in Greek.
Absolutely fuming. All I could make out was
€300. So I rang Tony. I said, "You're not going to believe it, got a face fan." Tony went into Tony mode. So we couldn't read this.
I'm not paying it. There's no facilities for camper vans. We can't even, we're on wasteland, we're parked within the regulations, blah, blah, blah.
We couldn't read what the notice said. So we took it to our friend who runs the bar, who owns the bar. Said, "Dino, can you just translate this, please? Because we've got a fan, we're not happy, blah, we're staying in a hotel." Oh, and he just went, "Well, you're going to have to pay it." "No, I'm not paying it." "Well, you've got to pay it." "That's great, good luck getting away with that in Greece." He says, "Well, we're going to go, where's the police station? We're going to go see the police." Google it. So he was being a total hobhead. So Tony, by this time, had steam coming out of her ears.
I'm like, "I'm not paying it. I'll go to jail, Dino. I am not paying it."
She wanted to hit somebody, and I just thought it wasn't going to be me. At which point, our friend grabbed the piece of paper off us, looked at it again, and then ripped it up into little pieces. At which point, we both went, "Ah!" Anyway, I'm only joking. I put it on there.
So he'd gone the way home, he'd gone and got the registration number, knew where we'd parked, and he'd printed it out and put it on there to joke us. So
sorry, our ex-friend. Yes.
Yeah, he did let us stay on his land once the 6 days was up, so we actually, we forgave him in the end, and I gave him a packet of jammy Dodgers, much to Darren's disgust.
To remind me, I was nearly over. I think that's what's made me ill.
But yeah, we just wanted to update you on the amendment that's come out. You can stop, you can park. You'll see in an upcoming video some of the campsites and why. Please have a look around.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, please have a look around before you pay any money, because they're not all nice like this, and we fell into that trap, didn't we?
We made a little error there, which we won't be making again.
And you can, and it's like, come on, campsites in Greece, do better. The government are trying to make us all go on to them, but yeah, you'll see in an upcoming video. Don't miss that one. It will be called something like from heaven to hell to heaven.
Something like that, because it certainly was a hell.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, we'll leave this one here.
Just my arms aching.
Go check out the rules. Go check out them the rules for yourself. We're not advocates for wild camping. We like to do a bit of both. We've been more on campsites than anything else on this trip, haven't we?
If you're in the summer, you need a campsite, because you need the shade, you need maybe a pool, or it needs to be near a beach.
Do your research. Still come to Greece. They do want you here. Honestly, they do.
Hell yeah.
And you won't regret it. So bye.